What's happening? Dustin here with Life in a Mustang, and today I'm going to be installing some BMR on-car adjustable lower control arms, basically to help me with stiffening up that rear end. I already have the BMR on-car adjustable uppers. Now I'm going to do the lowers. So if you want to go ahead and check out here, they have spherical bearings on this end and the polyurethane on this end. These things are heavy. Both of them together weigh 14 pounds, so they're about 7 pounds a piece. They have the spring perches and the sway bar mounts. They're pretty dang solid. Now, it took a while to get these. I don't know if it was a manufacturing problem but I have noticed that everything that's BMR is out of stock. So I don't know if it's a manufacturing problem. I don't know what's going on. I did buy them from good old American Muscle. That's right. They supplied me with these. They were really helpful. I must have called them once a week for almost 2 months wondering where my control arms were. And they finally arrived and I got them, so we're going to install them today. Hope you enjoy. Alright, so I'm going to take this right here and pull it up out of this bracket. Just pull it loose just like that. I'm going to take this bolt off right here that this was attached to, your ABS wire. This is parking brake. We're going to take this bracket off and just kind of let it hang free for now, this one right there. Alright, so we got those bolts off. Same thing, pull this rubber grommet ABS up out of here without damaging it. Just kind of work it up. Pry that out of the way. Now we're going to take a bolt off here and here and get that sway bar off. And then we can start with the control arms. Alright, now we'll pull that sway bar out right there. There it is. Dude, I'm sweating like crazy. It just got done raining. You see it's cloudy outside. Just got done pouring and it's so humid. Holy shnikes. Yesterday I was out clearing land. It was like 100 degrees. I thought I was gonna die. It was hot. Anyways. Sway bar is out. It's laying on the ground. It's pretty dirty. Probably clean it up. And now we're going to go ahead and take these bolts out and get passenger side spring out so we can work on the front of the bolts on the control arm and get those out. Alright, so I got some preload on this back control arm right there. And I jacked this up a little right here, jacked up on this little. And then on this side of the bolt, it is a 21 millimeter. And then on the other side is 18 millimeters on that side. I'm going to loosen that up and drop that into the swing arm down. And then I'll move up to the front. Alright, I got it broken loose. Let's switch to a ratchet. A little more preload on that. I was looking at this today and I'm like, man, I really don't feel like doing this because it's actually kind of a tedious project. Anything with suspension is tedious. But I'm like, it's going to be so much better once I get it on there. At least I'll know the only thing I have left in the rear end is the differential. I'm not like the control arms or the suspension part of it. So the differential will be the last thing. Got that bolt off from there. Now on the other side, this one has gave me problems. I accidentally hit my jack. I'll get a little preload on that. Hopefully get some tension off this bolt. And you're gonna pretty much have to turn it out of there. Now remember, there's pressure pushing down on this original control arm because of that spring up there. So that's where the preload comes in. You get just enough preload on that thing to get this bolt to back out. If I wasn't shooting a video, I'd probably be using air right about now. And right there, the bolt's not wanting to come out. So what I'm going to do is screw just the head of that bolt on till it sits flush with that nut. I'm going to put that on there. And then I'm just going to give it a little tap. And all right, now that I got that bolt out on the back of that lower control arm, I should be able to let the jack down and pull the spring out. I have the rear end, the axle housing sitting on a jack stand because when I were to lower this control arm, now that it's unhooked, the axle would try to go with it. So the axle's sitting on a jack stand. Here, just take a look. Jack stand. That bolts out. The jack is holding up the control arm. The housing is getting held up by the jack stand. I'm going to go ahead and drop that down, get the spring out of there. Alright, so when I let this jack down real slow, that control arm should go with it. See it falling right there. And the spring is out. Just pull that spring out of there. My isolators are shot. Those things are shot. Yeah. So we're not going to put those back in. And right there, we're just going to have to do the bolts that are up in here now. Undo those bolts. And then we'll go ahead and fine tune these adjustable control arms. Measure them up to the length I'll show you. I've showed you before. Same thing as the uppers. And get it on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so up in here, I have a wobble adapter and the 21mm socket. On the other side, you can see that wrench over there, I got the muffler pried down, and on the other side of that, I have the 18. That's a wobble adapter and a pry bar. And so far, this is the biggest pain in the butt ever. It's so tight. If you can drop your exhaust, drop your exhaust. I'm getting ready to drop my exhaust because that's probably going to be easier. I'm going to struggle with it just a little bit more. But yeah, this is the most tedious process of the whole install, I think, it's such a tight space, and you can't get nothing straight on. You got to use wobble adapters and everything else. It's kind of a pain, so I'm going to struggle with this for a minute, and I'll let you know how this one turns out. Alright, so I've resorted to using air. I'm letting the tank fill up right now. I'm going to try the air ratchet. I may have to go ahead and use an air hammer. I was going to try this little battery powered, but I can't find my adapter, so we're just going to bust out the air tools. I'm going to try to take this bolt off on it's the upper bolt on the lower control arm. It is a pain in the beep, that's for sure. So letting the air charge up, I'm going to zip that off. You guys ain't going to see that. I already showed you the bolt, that's what I'm messing with. It would be the bolt that goes where these spherical parts go, that goes forward, so that goes forward. So this bolt up here, these go towards the axle, this goes in the torque box. This is the bolt I'm having trouble with. It is a tight fit, I just can't get in there. You gotta wobble adapters. I'm gonna put some air on it and just be done with it. So I'll be right back. Sucker off from there. That was a pain. That's such a tight squeeze. This is my little setup. I got the pry bar on some boards holding down that muffler, and that's how I got my hand in there. That's a tight squeeze for these things, that's for sure. Alright, now we're just gonna line up the other two, get them to the right length, and put it back in. Alright, so I just ran into a problem. This bolt was the one that would go on this side. It does not fit. So this bolt would go here on that one. This thicker bolt right here would go up in the torque box. This is the one I just had trouble getting out. So this bolt would go in this spherical bearing. And I mean, that looks like it'll fit. Let me cut it off from there and see. So that one fits. They gave me the wrong control arms. I think they said like 94 to 98 had like an M12 bolt or something, if I remember correctly. So they sent, not only did I wait I waited 2 months for these control arms. They sent me the wrong ones, or BMR put the wrong bushings in them. Alright, so I really hate when stuff like this happens, especially that I waited 2 months for these. Now my car, luckily I don't have to drive this car. This car doesn't matter if it sits or not. But so far what I've got done is I've got that control arm out. There's you know, no control arm. Springs over there. But I do have this mess of tools out, you know, blocking up my carport. So now my car is out of commission until I either A, get a different bolt, which I could do, but then it's not going to be the right size bolt for what's on the car, and there will always be play in it. B, send the control arms back and wait for that. And then there's C. Drill out that bushing. It's pretty irritating. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I'm gonna give American Muscle a call. And these control arms have been nothing but trouble. Now I will say that they are very solidly made. They did take 2 months to get them to me. American Muscle told me that there was a powder coat issue. But if you look, everything that's BMR for the new Edge Mustangs and even some of the newer Mustangs is out of stock, which means BMR is not really making it anymore, or they just don't care. 2 months to get these, and the bushing is the wrong damn one. Really frustrating, really irritated. I'm kind of over, you know, the only reason I went with BMR is because I got the uppers during Black Friday. And I got them for like $230 because they're normally like $240 something, whatever. So I wanted a matching set, plus they're red. My sway bars are red because they're Eibach. And I was pretty much trying to match everything, you know, but I'm pretty irritated. I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. I got people here and kids. I'm not gonna do a this tool is cool this week. I'll do one next week. But I do want to thank you for watching. Sorry I didn't get the install bit. From what I showed you at the beginning of this video, it's you just put it back all together in reverse order. If you want to see how to adjust these to the proper length, I'll put a link in the description to the uppers. It's the same exact way. And thanks for watching. I'm gonna make some phone calls, see what's going on. I will update you with what is going on with BMR. Like I said, 2 months to get these. Supposedly powder coat issues, but they're out of stock for everything they make in American Muscle and LMR. And the guys at American Muscle were really awesome. I got irritated with them and I told them, like, look man, I've been hearing the same thing for 2 months now and I'm just over it. And but they were really cool with me. They always have been. So thanks to American Muscle. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna make that phone call. Later.